Hi team. So in this video, I will explain how to make the connections. Okay. So in the previous session, we understood this how to initialize the local repository and how to move your file from one area to another area, right? So now I will make the connections. So before pushing your file from local repository to remote repository, so you should make the connections. Okay. So let me pick up from the content, the third one. Okay, so in this video only we will focus on this connection, the connection types. Okay, so there are two types of connections. Let me open the paint. So let's assume this is your local laptop. Okay, this is your local laptop, and this might be your GitHub account. Okay, so your local app, and this is your GitHub account. The first connection type is the local laptop to your GitHub account. Okay, this is the first connection. Okay, so how to make this connection, we will see thereafter. So we have initiated the local repository, right? Inside your laptop you created one folder. Inside that folder you initiated a git local repository. Correct, git local repository. Correct. So the second connection type is from local repository. So in GitHub also we created one organization. Okay, so inside the organization we created one repository, that is a GitHub repository, or you can call it as a remote repository. Okay, so the second connection type is from local repository to your remote repository. This is the second connection. We already know, the moment you create the repository it will create two URLs. Correct. So two URLs which are HTTPS and another one is the SSH URL. By using these URLs only, we are making these connections, and the files also, the data also pushing through these URLs only. Okay, so let us see. The first connection type is local laptop to your GitHub account, right? So simply you can execute this command git config -list, which will display if already the connections are exist. Okay, it will display. This is a keep remember, this is a one time setup, so one time activity, no need to do multiple times. So this is a one time setup only. Okay, so you can execute this command, it will display. So to configure, you can execute this git config -global. Okay, so so git config -global, then user dot name, then your GitHub account username. Okay, GitHub account username. So where you have to find out this GitHub account means, so simply go to your GitHub account. We have already created the account, right? So go here. So here in the profile you will see this. Okay, this is your GitHub account username. Okay, you can use that. Okay, this is the syntax, and another command git config, same similar command, but make sure guys here user dot email. Okay, so user dot email, this one email, then your email address, your whatever you have configured in the GitHub, that is the that email ID you have to configure, you have to execute here. Okay, so this is the first time connection, that's it. Then let me execute this. So go to your Visual Studio. Okay, in the same location. So here simply check the git config -list. Okay, somewhere you might see now. See, this is my user email ID. Okay, I already configured. Okay, so that's the reason it is showing. In case, in your case, you might not see your username and email ID, then you can simply execute these commands. Under this codes, you can provide your username and your email ID. Make sure guys here user.email and user.name. Okay, two commands you need to execute. That's it. First connection is done. Now we will see the second connection. Okay, so second connection. Okay, local repository to your remote repository. This one you can first gather the HTTP URL. Okay, so how to get the URL means, so here, see, copy this, gather this. Okay, sorry, this is the SSH URL. Make sure guys, okay, you will pick this HTTP. SSH also we will configure, but not now, later. That's it. Okay, now the command is git remote -v. This is the command to check the whatever the connections already established. Okay, so let me go and check. Okay, so git remote -v. See, nothing are there. So currently no configurations, so no connections, nothing. So now simply go and execute this command git remote. Okay, add and some, this is the syntax, alias name, then branch name. Okay, so the branch, don't afraid with this branch and all. Okay, so later we will discuss, in the next session we will discuss this branch. Okay, so what is this alias name means? So through this URL only you are going to make these connections, right? So whenever you want to push your file from local to remote repository, so based on this URL only, so we should call this URL. So this is the lengthy, right? In the real time you might see this lengthy URL. Okay, so instead of remembering all this URL, so simply we are assigning this URL on any one of the alias name. Alias name nothing but a short name. Okay, so let me trigger git remote. Okay, add alias name I am giving like sktech, then your URL. This is the, sorry, not branch name, URL, sorry guys, URL. Okay, so URL you have to provide. Copy this. That's it. Now verify git remote -v. See, earlier it was not shown. Now this is showing. That's it. Connection is done. Both connections are done. Okay. So now if you want to create another remote repository, then again it will create a HTTP URL SSH. Then if you want, you can configure with the same local repository to another remote repository. But it's not recommended actually. Okay. So, but there is a possibility. Okay, ignore that. So in this way, we are making the connections between local laptop to your GitHub account, which is one-time setup, and the second one is a local repository to GitHub repository. That's it, guys. Okay, that's it for today. I mean, for this class. So the next sessions and all, we will discuss remaining content. Okay, thank you, guys.